Hello, I am Cerubellum, and this is Academy of the Ancients. This is going to be a replay review, which was requested by user Jayem on Reddit. Or I don't know actually if he's called Jayem on Reddit, but he's called Jayem in this game. He's going to be playing Lich. He's going to be playing Lich support in the offlane with an anti-mage. We're going to see if we can give him some feedback on this game here. Now, I like his starting purchases here. He's got some regen, obviously. Because of sacrifice, he doesn't need any clarities, no mana regen required. And he's got the so that's good. He's got an iron branch, and he's got some observer wards, and that's good. Now, if you're gonna be placing one down here and one up top, you should definitely be placing the one toward your lane last. So he could be at his lane slightly faster if he, if you place the top one first, and then cycle down and just place this one afterwards. Then he'd be back down at his lane slightly faster. So let's just speed it up while he's moving about his business here. He specs sacrifice first, which I like. You can use it to deny and it gives you a bit of XP, so we can see he's gained some XP here. And that's really one of the hallmark abilities of Lich, is being able to do just that trick. So yeah, he's back at his lane, so let's put it down again. The lane here from them is pretty good. Lich is a really hard support, by which I mean that he doesn't need any farm at all, really. He just needs his triangle boots, and then from there it's all pretty much optional. It's very good for him to get a mech, of course. We're gonna see him go for that this game as well, which I really like. But, anti-mage, very, very hard carry. Needs all the farm he can get. Really good at getting farm also. So, this is a good lane, I think. Much better than the opponents, certainly. Like, two melee carries, both need farm. Not very good at all. But the Lich and anti-mage lane here, I think is very good. Now, I believe he used sacrifice while the enemies were in range of the creep here. And that doesn't actually, it isn't a hard deny. Like, if they're in range, they will get XP from it. So, it's a little better to hold off on it. Like, especially if you don't need a mana, then hold off on it until you can get them out of range, I think. It's a bit, then you don't make the full use of the ability because it's still on cooldown, or it's off cooldown for a bit, so that's a bit inefficient that way, but it's something to consider. Now, picking up the Frost Blast here, it's pretty good. Like, as you can see, he uses it to harass pretty effectively. It does push the lane slightly, but when there's two melees here, you can get both of them the blast. I think it's definitely worth it. So that's very good. And just the fact that Lich is present on the lane with the sacrifice should be very good for the team, just by all the advantage that gives. So Lich is gonna make a move on the rune here. I think that's what he's doing.
First blood.
And his teammate's gonna give up first blood on top here. Now, if he had been carrying a TP, he could get up there, but that's honestly very early to be carrying a TP, I think. So probably a mistake on the top lane, or a very good move from the opponents. Yeah, he's playing a pretty decent game so far, using his sacrifice effectively and using his Frost Blast to harass with. I like the second level in sacrifice. Because it brings down the cooldown and makes it much more efficient that way. That's pretty good. Is he gonna... Yeah, he's gonna go up to the wave here. And that's gonna be out of range. I think that's out of range of the enemies. The XP range is quite far, so it's hard to tell. But yeah, so that's slightly better. So we're gonna see a bit of an attempt to go on the bathroom here. And I think when you're in the off lane, it's kind of hard to kill people, and certainly against this lane, I don't think you should try. Certainly not with anti-mage. He's not the best offensive hero before he has a few items. We're gonna see them almost killing the Barathum here, Spirit Breaker, and then anti-mage is going to die, which is obviously pretty bad. But this I think is more the fault of the anti-mage than the Lich. Like, he was definitely the one who did the committing there. Like, he blinked in, he just kept hitting him, and there's nothing really Lich could do. He's definitely the right move to try and use Frost Blast to harass there. And maybe Anti-Mage took it a bit more of a go, but once you've hit with Frost Blast, that's most of your offensive potential as Lich. So that's really not so good. Would have loved him to see him use some regen earlier there. He was hanging out here with two heroes, both of them have stun at half-life. They could have, if they had life and they were a little bit more confident, they could have just gone on him there. Buying the Flying Courier here is pretty good. For some reason it doesn't say they have a courier, but they do, and it's flying. So that's just a little bit of a replay block. And then he's gonna buy the Ring of Protection. Now he's going to be going for Tranquil Boots, and the Ring of Protection is the one part of the Tranquil Boot you can't get down here. So that, I think, is a pretty poor purchase. He could maybe have reordered his spies a little bit, and then just gone for the Ring of Protection at the start instead of the Iron Branch, and maybe skip the healing cell. That's an option, and then you could finish the entire boot down here. But that's maybe a bit ambitious. Certainly, if you don't buy the courier and the wards, I think, then that's viable. But this isn't, this is a pretty much a detail. Though I would definitely suggest getting the booters of speed part of the Tranquil Boots first, since we're gonna see another few offensive attempts down here that's gonna end up not super good, because they're just not able to get that last bit of damage, and that's one of the things. Very early, if you can get boots before your opponent, that's a very, very, very effective at doing just that. So, kind of missing that from him. Small mistake, I feel. But overall, he's playing really well. Like they are sort of even down here, I would say. Maybe they're still winning just because they're getting all the farm, they're getting good denies. But Anti-Mage did give up a big kill, so that's not so good. And I'm not sure exactly what the Lich is trying to do here. If you want to do rotations, especially from the offlane, you need to pick up a TP. And it wouldn't be bad for him to do that. Like, they're being very aggressive up on the top lane, we can see. That would not be bad to do, though they are trying very hard to kill this Barathon down here. Second time now, it's not going to work out. Not sure Boots would have done anything that time. I'm not sure he could have had Boots last time, but it's honestly, when your offlane can be this aggressive, that's on 2-on-2, that's not very good for the opponents. The opponent's team composition is also pretty bad. Like, as we can see, all of these heroes need farm, and there's 4 melees. So that's two things you really don't want to have happen. Whereas on the other team here, we do see like 3 sort of melee heroes, and we see 2 supports. So at least they have supports, which is huge. Like, just someone who can afford to get items like that is pretty good. So you can maybe run some of these as supports semi-effectively, but that's not their main role or their usual role. So we're gonna see the Ring of Regen picked up before Boots. I think it's definitely a mistake. I don't like this at all. Again, it's gonna stifle the offensive potential. It's gonna make it very much harder to do anything. And yeah, the 2 life regen, 2 HP regen, not big at all, not big at all. So they're just gonna be hanging out in lane here for a bit, and we're gonna be just speeding it up to ×2 until Lich gets his salty. Oops, that's not ×2.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And any moment now.
Dire's middle tower
And
is
now
under attack.
Lich's ulti comes online, and we are gonna see his first big mistake of the game shortly. Like, there's been small stuff, like the item choices, just the order in which he's getting his Tranquil Boots. Pretty bad. And now we're gonna see a pretty wasted ultimate here. Like, that was, pretty questionable. There was a lot of creeps around, and then you can get just exactly what happened. And now Anti-Mage is actually in a bit of trouble because, the ulti didn't do nearly as much as it should. You don't have enough mana for the Ice Blast. And, yeah, like, Anti-Mage is pretty good defensively. He can just blink out. And now you're just kind of stuck in the middle of it. So that ended up being a whiffed ulti. And the ulti has more than 2 minutes cooldown. So this is a team fight ulti. This is an ulti that should be saved for important situations or really ideal situations. And with 2 heroes here, you should definitely wait until the creep wave is ground more down. It almost worked out, actually. They pulled back enough for almost having the ulti bounce between them. Pod's gonna go down here with a hook completely, and we're gonna have a bit of engagement down here. Lich just gonna keep back, and I think this is honestly a pretty good choice. Like, Pod's at haste, he's gonna be doing whatever he can do here. You're not super tanky as Lich, so just hanging back, kinda sensible here. Should definitely use this sacrifice though. I don't like that it's just been off cooldown for so long, and you are needing mana. Like, at that point, you could just have sacrificed something and gone in for a Frost Blast. We're gonna see the snipers rotating in for something.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Bit hopeful there, bit hopeful on the anti-mage. But you know, gonna see if he ends up paying for it. Easiest took in the world, and he does get it. And super easy kill. So yeah, that's just not...
Axe reports, top is missing.
Yeah, if he'd been really awake there, he could salve up the pudge. And he could still do that. Like, this salve is becoming worse and worse as the game progresses. Like, it's not beyond the early game. Like, Lich is still fairly squishy, but beyond the early game, this salve is not gonna be super useful. It's just taking up inventory space by now.
Middle tower is under attack.
New wards need to go up, so hopefully he'll buy those. Yeah, he does buy those. And he can buy a TP as well, so... He's been on top of the items, like he should be, but not much else. And of course, if he had saved his ulti there for the kind of messy engagement in here, that would have been a better occasion. Like, when there's just enemy heroes around, you're guaranteed almost that unless they are awake, unless you force them to move away from each other, then the ulti will bounce and you will see some good stuff there. So Pudge is gonna move down here again. I'm gonna speed it up again, because this is just gonna be a bit of laning action, I believe. So yeah, a kind of slow item progression, but again, Lich as a support doesn't really matter that much. Now he gets it. And this TP mid, I think, is a bit questionable. Like, you're pretty much just holding off the tower here being killed. Which, you know, is good, but with your ulti up, with as much of a help you can be in team fights, that's, you know, maybe not the best place to be.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Gonna pick up a regen here. That's pretty good. Managed to put down a ward. That's also pretty good. So, you know, honestly, not the, like, okay, it was a pretty good TP mid. Like, someone needs to be there to get the XP, get the farm. Someone needs to be, and you need to be putting down wards anyway. So it's pretty good, and you did hold off from the tower. But, you know, maybe walk there instead, just in case you need to use the TP to get somewhere else and have it off cooldown. That'll be pretty good. Now I believe we're gonna see the second ulti of the game shortly. And yeah, full creep wave, 2 heroes, and you're just gonna walk out and reveal yourself there. So they were going forward. Maybe they were just heading to the secret shop, but just going around the corner there and dragging the creep wave, gonna make it painfully obvious what you're trying to do. So that killed that gank attempt. Yeah, it's obviously not very good. And now we have green going down here, so a bit more map awareness would be good. Like, he's obviously trying to make something happen down here, and you're just hanging out. And Dragonite has a fairly good stun, so that could have very easily been a kill. Now we're gonna see some poor map awareness from the opponents here. Dragonite, Lich, they have all the knowledge in the world that these are coming, but they're still gonna catch out Sniper here in the mid. The other hero, Axe, I don't really know what he's gonna be doing. But and this is a completely wasted ult. This is a gank. This is a gank, make no mistake about it. Like, even and you're gonna blow 2 ultimates to kill a sniper there, which is really bad. Like, this honestly not entirely worth it. When there are 5 carries, like, if he's the designated carry, maybe that's worth it. Maybe. But when he's the only carry, or when he's just a hero on the team, using your ultimate in that situation where there's tons of creeps and then a hero, that's in my opinion, that's pretty much completely wasted. We're gonna speed up again here because the Lich is just gonna go back. It's gonna get part of the mech and he's gonna head out again. So the wars have been pretty good. Honestly, the supporting part of it has been pretty good, but the team fight aspect, you're not just, you know, a lane support. You also have this really good team fighting ability. Needs to be saved for special occasions. A little bit more, and I feel like the 2 attempts that we've seen so far have been pretty bad. So they haven't been doing so much. The first attempt, decent, like that could have worked out. The second attempt here, not so much. Like, pretty much a single hero ulti, which is not good. Like, even just a frostbite would have been better there. There we go. And now we have a team fight. Dragonite is going to try to make something happen here. And now would be a very good time to have your ulti up, because this is going to be a big, enclosed, messy team fight. And now if you have that ulti, that would have been a godsend. Like, seriously, so good. Gonna use your sacrifice to get very little there, and then just kind of running in rupture. At that point you had not much choice. But honestly, if your ulti, if your Frost Blast had been Chain Frost, Frost Ice Path thing, if that had been up there, that could have made the difference. And it was honestly a pretty lost team fight for you there. You lost a very high priority hero in your hard carry, your anti-mage, and you lost your 2 supports for just 2 heroes on their all carry-ish lineup. So that's not so good. You did get a deny off on the tower though, or at least Dragon Knight did. So that's pretty good. But I feel like that's the first time one of your poor decisions has honestly cost your team a lot, is using that Chain Frost on the sniper, which you just have had, you know, a Frost Blast. And then, oh, did I switch the names again? Anyway, yeah, not having the Chain Frost there was a big mistake. I think honestly that's the biggest mistake so far, is using that at an improper time. So, yeah. Still way ahead, of course. This game is a bit of a stop. So a bit of a gank going down on Sven here. And there, another bad Chain Frost. Though it happened to work out a bit. But I think it was completely unnecessary again. Like, this isn't an efficiency thing. You shouldn't try to just... yeah, I should probably slow this down. But this isn't an efficiency thing. You shouldn't try to dish out the Chain Frost as soon as you can. This is pretty good. You should probably have armored up the anti-mage a bit before. He's gonna do the smart thing and just get the battle hunger off him by killing off a neutral here. And now you're gonna eat a sniper ulti and die. The death here, I don't mind. That's pretty okay. Like there's nothing much to do about that. But the Chain Frost there again was pretty bad. Like, you need to find a good situation for it. It's better to hold off on it if you don't think it's a good situation. Like, desperation on using these big teamfight ultis is a bad thing. You should be trying to really analyze the situation and trying to really find out if this is the right moment for it. And that's honestly, you know, you're using your sacrifice well, you're using your Frost Blast very well, picked off the Bloodseeker there last engagement, really good. I think you're even using your Ice Armor pretty well. So it's just that ultimate. The ultimate is very important, but you know, it's not all of what the hero does. And you're using the rest of your abilities really well. It's just about finding the right opportunity for using that that ability now. Nice pick off on the Bloodseeker there from your teammates. And good Frost Armor there, liked it a lot. Could use your Buckler, though that's honestly not super, you know, 2 armor. It's okay. Yeah, there we go. That's the Buckler. So not really the best of times to use it, but still, you know, being aware of it and using it is okay. Could have had wards when you went down here, I think. Like they're timeout now, so that's a little thing. Like, it's not a complete catastrophe running out of wards or not having wards on the map at all times. So, you know, a minute or two where you don't have wards, you know, whatever, almost. But, you know, if you can get it, get it. Now Chain Frost is going to be up again, and we're going to see, I think, the best use of Chain Frost so far. Good rotation over here. You're going to try to catch him out of here. Not enough communication with your team, though, I'm going to say. Gonna get caught up by the creep wave here, and we're gonna see the Chain Frost pick off someone down here. Yes, there's a sniper just got killed by the Chain Frost on the back end. And that's, you know, a team fight that was won because of your rotation and your Chain Frost there. Pretty good. Could have been better if the project caught him in a little bit better. But you did get 2 heroes, you got a tower out of it. Very good. First time it's been used really effectively, I think. And that just illustrates the power of it, and the power of a good rotation and catching your enemies off guard. Which is something supports especially needs to be very aware of. But that was very good. Good job. Actually getting 2 towers there, putting you way ahead. Like getting a tier 2 is really important, really big. Like they have so little control over their mid lane now that it's quite good. So he's getting... Oh, he just got mech. Just finished his mech. And he just got his... some more TPs and stuff. So, pretty good, pretty good. They're gonna cycle around here, see if they can kill the Bloodseeker. I think they can, probably. It depends on how well the Dragon Knight's doing. Yeah, Dragon Knight almost just soloed him. So that's... yeah. Bloodseeker's pretty tricky hero to play. You see a lot of poor Bloodseeker players at the lower levels. By which I mean the level I play at. But still, yeah. Yeah, your team's definitely ahead, and you know, 5-manning up like this and taking towers is definitely what you should be doing. It's not the most exciting, however, though it looks like we might have a team fight coming up. Now, your ulti is on cooldown. You can communicate this by alt-clicking it. Alt-left-clicking it will tell your teammates that, hey, my big important ulti here is on cooldown. So maybe if we could wait a little bit for engagement, that would be just swell. So X gonna initiate, gonna use some good force armor use on the Fudge here, and you're gonna lose this, not lose, win this team fight pretty easily. Yeah, 3-0. This game is all but closed out now, but I think we've covered some good ground. When you do, if you do submit replays to us, please, you know, it's a bit easier to find stuff to talk about when it isn't a big stomp like this. And you know, but of course you could also say that what you can get the most out of is when you're playing well. You can kind of that allows me to focus on the stuff that you aren't doing well, even when you're playing at your best. So it's kind of, you know. But I do think, you know, when it's a stomp like this, there's not a lot to there's a lot that's just going right and that you can't really account for. So yeah, we're gonna speed it up a bit here because this is honestly really boring. There's not a lot to do. From here, if you want to get items as Lich, like a Shiva's Guard is really good, a Sheep Stick like a Cypher Vice, always pretty good. Dragon Knight's gonna disconnect. That's probably a disconnect because they are stomping at the moment. And then not a rage crit, of course. You do see that a lot at the low levels, that players just leave. It's gonna look like it's gonna be an Aghanims. Probably, I'm gonna call that an Aghanims, the point booster first, which is also pretty good. Like the Aghanims effect on Lich is pretty good, and it can absolutely tear down a team fight and pressure your opponents into buying DKBs at the higher levels, which is also really good.
Fresh meat!
And it also makes Lich a lot tankier, which is actually pretty good as well. They're gonna do the smart thing and try to pick off the Pudge alone at the woods up here, which is honestly pretty good. But yeah, a bit surprised no one's paused for the Dragon Knight. I think you should definitely pause for people when they drop like this. It really sucks to get an abandon just because your teammates couldn't wait 2 minutes. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was a team chat I was unaware of. This is always one of the a bit annoying things with replays, that the team chat doesn't get stored. So only the chat that a spectator would be able to see, basically. So, oh, close hook there. Pretty good attempt. Should not pursue this, I think. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so not all happening again. We're gonna speed it up, gonna do a bit of farming. Of course, we can use Frost Blast to get a bit of last hits. They're gonna be fine down here, and there's the fight. Need to get better at controlling this thing. So can I? No. Okay. Yeah. Now I hope I don't see an ulti here. Yeah, good. I had a feeling maybe you see two heroes together, you think, I can just ulti, but when they're just close to the tower and they can just kind of walk a little bit away from each other, it gets. Ooh, I like this movement. This is a very good movement. Just a bit of tricky movement there to, you know, be able to catch someone out. That's okay. I don't like that movement. That's basically giving up the play right here. But let's see what happens. Okay, that's weird. Very weird to. Okay, anti-mage committed. So. Yeah, a bit of a mistake there. Not being aware your teammates committed is a pretty big flaw here. But yeah, at this point the game is you know, pretty won. You know, that wasn't the best use of the ulti, but honestly at this point it doesn't really matter. Like, the game is just so won. We're just gonna see they're pressing the mid. yeah.
Dire's bottom
I think
tower
that's
is under attack.
pretty much what there is to talk about in this game. Like this is just, you know, closing the game out and the Lich building slowly up towards his Aghanims. So it's not
Dire's
not
bottom
hugely
tower is under attack.
interesting. So we're just gonna. I do want to see. It's actually a long time left.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Roshan is fallen
Pretty
to
unnecessary
the Dire.
Roshan there. And yeah, pretty much the enemy team is left. So I think I'm gonna call that a video. I hope we've got something out of this,
Radiant's middle
Jayem.
tower is
And
under attack.
if you guys liked the video, please feel free to subscribe. We're gonna be doing more content like this on the site, and hopefully some other types of contents as well. So yeah, I've been Cerubellum. This has been Academy of the Ancients.